Morning, we are headed into the wedding world. The nuptial season, along with baseball season, is almost upon us. So we are getting an update on some big trends this year. Here with some insight is Rebecca Grant from New Creations Weddings. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. Good to be back.
I don't think I've ever been here in our set with such a gorgeous flower arrangement bedecking our studio.
It feels like spring, doesn't it?
It feels like spring. It feels whimsical. It feels fun. So tell me about some of the patterns and the colors we're seeing right now in weddings.
Absolutely. So patterns and colors, you touched on it right there. So for the past 2 years through the pandemic, right, everybody played it really, really safe. A lot of the large scale designs got scaled back into more neutral tones and places where people just felt like they didn't want to really show off. We were all living through a bit of a downtime, right? So now it's time to celebrate. Weddings are back, and they're back in a big way. So what you're seeing on the tablescape right now, of course, pattern linens. That is the #1 trend of 2023. No longer is it the basic white or ivory table linens. Bold patterns really punch up a table, and it gives you the biggest bang for your buck. In addition to that, you're seeing the amazing color palette that we have going on right now. Colors are back in a big, bold way. And again, same thing with these plates and these napkins.
I feel like it's just a celebration, and I think that's what we've all really needed, is to really celebrate. Can I ask you a random question?
Sure.
I've never seen a tulip treated this way.
So these are actually irises right here.
Oh, those are irises. I thought you
that's why it's not a tulip.
you just bent the leaves back, but those are beautiful.
Yeah, aren't they? Gorgeous.
I think this is so fun. What are some of the other trends we're seeing when it comes to the ceremonies, the parties?
So people are kind of getting through the ceremonies in a shorter fashion. So people are wanting to move on to that party atmosphere and get into the big, bold celebration like you mentioned. So we're seeing a little bit shorter ceremonies. Still, it's very on trend to have ceremony and reception in the same location. Some churches, not as many. But people are wanting to move through ceremony, get to that cocktail hour, have some signature cocktails, a really great bar experience as well. So really interactive bar. You want to be sure too, if you do have an interactive bar where you're doing custom cocktails, that you have enough bartenders for your guest count.
That's always
no
great
bar
advice.
line, right?
No
Nobody
bar
likes
line.
a bar line.
I like the shorter ceremonies. It's a good idea, unless you're Catholic, in which case eat a full meal before you go to the wedding.
Right.
So people are spending more money too now, I understand, on the experience, right? On the entertainment. Like,
Absolutely.
what kind of things? Like, you're obviously not just a DJ anymore.
We're seeing a comeback of live musicians for sure. So not only for just the reception, but also carrying through to cocktail hour and the ceremony. So acoustic guitars, soloists, trumpet players, you name it, it's out there. So really don't be afraid to go outside of the traditional DJ if that's kind of your vibe. Also, transitioning people from point A to point B has been a really fun thing.
That's
having a musician kind of lead the way. We've also had a lot of interactive entertainment where people wearing champagne skirts, you know, guiding guests through and serving glasses of champagne along the way.
Wait, there's like actual champagne on their skirt as they're walking?
Correct. It's a giant hoop skirt with champagne glass holders, and people can pick up a glass of champagne on their way by.
I actually saw something where they had this fake shrub, and you pulled the thing and the champagne popped out. I'm like, I guess sounds like the best plan
I know.
ever.
Ring the bell for champagne, right? Why not?
What about decorating? Other than, you know, the tablescape, like when you go into the chapel, I feel like that is something, or wherever you choose to wed. What are the decorations there? Are people still doing that, or just kind of leaving the venue as it is?
Yeah, so the ballroom receptions are back. So people for the last 2 years were really hesitant to move folks indoors. Now that we're kind of all feeling a little bit more comfortable with everything, ballroom, big, gorgeous weddings are 100% back. And so what we're seeing is a bold punch of lighting, both on the dance floor and the flooring, but also on the walls, also on the ceiling, spotlighting our floral arrangements to really punch up with lighting. Also, we're seeing custom dance floors. So there's a company that does dance floor wraps, so you can get custom monograms, you can get design.
Cool.
And it's a really great way to bring in a unique element of design into your wedding.
I have to say, I love everything you've done on this tablescape, but so you can actually rent this stuff, or have somebody bring this to you? You do this?
Yeah, so I I'm kind of the master of ceremonies, right?
Yeah.
I bring your vision and put it to life. So today we're seeing linens from BBJ Linen, which is a mail order rental company for linens specifically, and
knew that
charter
even
plates.
existed?
Court Party Rental provided all the tablescape, and then Goldenrod Floral provided our beautiful centerpiece. So all of this is available by your local Seattle vendors.
I love that. I think that's wonderful. What about if you want to do some, cost saving? I mean, this is beautiful, but maybe this is a little too over the top for them. How do you go cost saving nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely. So a great way to do that is to go back to these linens, right? So the linens are the biggest landscape of your entire wedding. When you walk into the space, that's what you see as the tabletop, right?
Yeah.
So spend your money on the linens and then maybe pare down the centerpiece. Maybe do candles instead of a bold floral centerpiece. So that way you're still getting the feel and look of a full table with bringing in a patterned linen, but you're saving the money on the floral centerpiece.
See, that is great advice. Thank you so much. All right, we have about a minute left, and I don't want to let you go without asking, what are the things that are on their way out that are just not cool anymore?
Yeah, so really we're seeing a big trend away from traditional sparkler exits. Those are kind of on the way out. Poppers with streamers are huge trending right now.
Okay.
As are bubbles, as are neon wands, as a way to send guests off in style. Also, a lot of venues aren't allowing sparklers anymore. We're also seeing a pullback from traditional elements. No longer is it really the thing to do of a garter toss, bouquet toss. Those are really on their way out.
Yeah.
Nobody wants, I mean, it's in front of your parents to go up your dress, right? Exactly. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
So let's skip that. Also, as couples are getting married a little bit older, it's just kind of a weird thing to do. So we're getting away from that. Also, no longer are wedding favors really a thing. You're hosting guests to a phenomenal meal, to free drinks. Why do they need something else? And nobody wants like a single wine glass or a bell or something little tchotchke that they're just going to be like, what do I do with this?
I have to say, though, my friend Kim got married. It must have been like 20 years ago now, and they handed out these little bells to hang on your Christmas tree.
Yep.
I still do
You still
every
have
year,
it,
just in case. If it's just my bell hanging that keeps them together, I know I've done something.
Absolutely.
This has been such a delight. We actually have a bride-to-be here on our staff, so we're going to have you back for more questions.
Most definitely.
And get you two in touch for sure. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
All right.